All right, y'all, I got some absolutely major breaking news here for you. Donald Trump just launched an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us, Iran. So let me tell you exactly what he said here. We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iranian airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There's not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Yes, he actually said that. He had the nerve to say, immediately after launching an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us, he had the nerve to say, now is the time for peace. That's like walking into a bar, knocking somebody out and breaking their jaw, and then when they get up and square up to fight you, you say, hey man, I just want peace, bro. Now's the time for peace. Well, if you wanted peace, maybe you shouldn't have broke that fucking person's jaw. This is mental, what we're witnessing here. So, don't say you weren't warned. I warned you about this in advance. There was detailed reporting that came out, like, for example, from Sy Hersh. Sy Hersh said the decision was already made, not only to attack the Iranian sites, but he says also to do regime change in Iran. Now, understand something. All the talk about Iranian's nuclear program, it's all bullshit. It's all a smokescreen. It's the cover story that they're using to go after the Iranian regime and try to get rid of it because it threatens Israeli hegemony in the region. Because, stop and think about it, who pulled out of the 2018 nuclear agreement that Iran was abiding by completely? Donald Trump did. So over a dozen times, the UN said, yes, everything's great. They're only enriching uranium so that they could get power for their power grid and for scientific research. Donald Trump ripped it up, lit it on fire, and took a shit on that agreement. And then the U.S. had the nerve to turn around and lecture Iran and say, why aren't you guys abiding by the deal? You mean the deal that you just ripped up? What are we talking about? Now, by the way, they also, let's be clear, were not building a nuke. They were not building a nuke. Did you know that either the U.S. or Israel or both just tried to assassinate an Iranian negotiator a few days ago? So as Trump was pretending like, bro, I'm going to give him one last chance. We'll have one last run at this peace deal. In the midst of Trump saying that, they tried to assassinate another Iranian negotiator. They already murdered, Israel did, one of the other top negotiators. They murdered their nuclear scientists, including their top nuclear scientists. They murdered military officials and political officials, and they also bombed apartment buildings where they ended up getting many civilians. This is what's happened already. And the entire time, the U.S. and Israel are on the offense and aggressively starting a war. They play the victim and they pretend like, bro, Iran's out of control with this nuclear stuff, bro. Your own intelligence agencies say that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon. So understand, that is just the cover story. What they really want is regime change. They really want to get rid of this government. They want to do exactly what they did in Iraq against Saddam Hussein. So I feel like we're right back in 2002. And by the way, don't even get me started on the media. I listened to a little bit of CNN and listened to a little bit of Fox News, and I wanted to fucking take a pair of pliers and shove them in my fucking eyeball listening to them. Everything was it was such fucking propaganda. It was all, oh, Donald Trump felt like he had no choice because of Iran being 2 weeks away from a nuke. They've been saying they're 2 weeks away from a nuke since fucking like 1992. This is such bullshit. All of it is such bullshit. So Trump also retruthed something that said Fordow is gone. So Fordow is their main nuclear site. It's at the base of this big mountain, which means, look, number one, we don't know if that's true. But number two, if it is true, originally the thought was, hey, maybe they're going to use 5,000-pound bunker busters, right? They even floated the idea of maybe using a tactical nuke. Crystal told me what they may have settled on was a 30,000-pound bomb, which, like, Jesus fucking Christ. So basically, it's like the Moab, the mother of all bombs, which Trump also dropped on Afghanistan in his first term. It looks like that may be what they used here. We don't know for sure. It could have been, multiple rounds of 5,000-pound bunker busters or a 30,000-pound bomb. But we know that it happened because there was seismic data that was recorded in the region at the time. And so they definitely attacked 3 nuclear sites. Again, I want to reiterate, this is massively illegal from the Trump regime. This is illegal. This is unconstitutional. Only Congress has the authority to declare war. Only Congress. He swatted that aside completely. He doesn't care about the Constitution. He uses it for toilet paper, right? So now the point is, you have to impeach. You have to impeach. By the way, all the Trump voters out there, all of MAGA, who pretended like he was anti-war, meanwhile, we already knew from his first term that this guy is colossally pro-war. How's it feel now, dog? How's it feel now? I'm waiting for my fucking mass stack of apology forms to come across my desk because I warned all of you about this time and time and time again. This is the same guy who increased drone strikes over 400% in his first term, and you have the nerve to call him the pro-peace candidate? This is the same guy who kept us in Iraq and kept us in Afghanistan and bombed Syria twice and bombed Somalia and assassinated Qasem Soleimani and tried to coup Venezuela, did all these fucking horrible things. But no, you guys have the nerve to try to pretend like, no, you don't understand. This guy is actually the pro-peace candidate. It's Kamala. Kamala's the warmonger. She's the massive warmonger. Well, now Donald Trump has officially launched an illegal and offensive and aggressive war against Iran, a country that didn't attack us, and they weren't going to attack us. Trump attacked them first, along with Israel. Understand that? Understand the chain of events? It's super important you get that. Use your common sense. Use your reason. Don't be fucking tricked by all this stupid propaganda where they're going to pretend like, oh, Iran had a nuke that they don't have, and they were building a nuke that they weren't building, and that's why we had to do it, bro. We had no choice. So, by the way, a lot of big open questions now, right? What does Russia do? Russia's a big ally of Iran. They don't fucking like this one bit. What does China do? China's a big ally of Iran. They don't like this either. So, hey, it's almost like different parts of the world are on different sides, and Trump just launched a massive war. So, would we call that a world war that could potentially unfold because of this? It's absolutely possible. It's absolutely on the table. I wish it wasn't. But when you have a government like the U.S. and Israel, who are so fucking unhinged and so bloodthirsty, and they're not connected in any way, shape, or form to reason or reciprocity or international law, this is where you end up. But more importantly, okay, so now, look, it's existential for Iran. This is an existential thing for Iran. So what are they going to do next? Well, there's a bunch of things on the menu. Iran could launch against our military bases in the region. They could do it now. They could do it in the near future. We don't know. But they could absolutely wreck our military bases and our infrastructure in the region. That's on the table. They might go as far as to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which, of course, would be a catastrophe for the global economy. Just an absolute mess for the global economy. And everybody would feel that if they decided to do that. That's another thing they could do. And then cyber attacks are potentially on the table. In fact, as I'm talking to you literally right now, we get the word that Truth Social just went down. Is that because of an Iranian cyber attack as a direct result of Trump illegally bombing Iran's nuclear facilities? It's very possible. It's very, very possible that's what happened here. So this is, we knew it was coming. I told you it was coming, but that doesn't make it any less horrible when we actually see it. Trump just launched an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us and lied about the justification. Oh, they have a nuke, or they're about to have a nuke, and that's unacceptable. They don't have a nuke. They weren't building a nuke. You are a fucking warmonger who wants regime change, and the Israel lobby has paid you hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're also doing their bidding. So, welcome to the era, not just of neocon warmongers, but we're beyond that now. We're at neocon warmonger imperialism. Imperialism, that's what we're witnessing, which is why this is the same fucking guy who threatens to steal Greenland, who threatens to own Gaza, who threatens to steal Panama, who threatened war with Mexico. He's got a laundry list of like 10 fucking countries he's either threatening or already bombing, like Yemen or Somalia. And again, MAGA had the nerve to tell me he's the peace candidate. Well, tell me how my fucking ass tastes now, bitch, because I warned you all this was going to happen, and now it's fucking happening. Again, I'll be waiting for those apology forms, but watch what happens now, because most of the MAGA commentators will move the goalposts. Now it'll be, bro, this was just like, he got bad advice from the people around him, bro. Trump's the pure one, and his heart was in the right place, but like the people around him did it and sort of made him do it, bro. That'll be one of the things they say. The other thing they'll say is, oh, he offered them a last-minute deal, and they said no, and so therefore, since they walked away, Trump gave them a chance, and they walked away. So what was he supposed to do? They will find a way to move the goalpost. Oh, it was just a quick strike, and now we'll get out. And again, wait for it. The end goal is regime change. So what happens from here? How quickly do they move to that? Does the U.S. do it? Does Israel try to do it? Do they both do it, right? How long is the timeline on that? We don't know. But anything and everything is on the table now, because what we just witnessed now should have been off the table. An illegal and offensive strike against a country that didn't attack us, okay? Impeach, impeach, impeach. No more questions, no more debates, No more fucking Democrats tucking their tail between their legs and running away, scared of their own shadow. If you don't impeach now, you have no balls to ever do anything right ever. If you don't impeach over this, you also wouldn't impeach if Trump decided, I'm going to fucking nuke Greenland or some shit, right? Because there's never been anything that's more of an open and shut case. You cannot make any argument that, oh no, this is legal, this is constitutional. What they try to do is say, oh, you know, remember that thing we passed, the authorization for use of military force against like Iraq and Afghanistan for the war on terror in the early 2000s? Yeah, that counts now. Over 20 years later for this fight, which has nothing to do with that fight, right? That's the bullshit they try to do, but it is so transparent. It's so obvious that's nonsense. It's so obvious this is illegal and unconstitutional. The law has to matter. It has to matter. Holds him accountable. Impeach him. Full court press. Argue against this not just from a procedural and process perspective, but also argue against it from a substantive perspective, guys. This is insane what we're witnessing here. So, unfortunately, major breaking news. Donald Trump has officially launched an illegal war against Iran. He's attacked their 3 nuclear sites, including their main nuclear site. They were not building a nuclear weapon. They were not. So this is deeply criminal. This is war criminal shit. And now, who knows what else is on the table? But as I said, now what we might see is Iran tries to hit our bases in the region, might shut down the Strait of Hormuz, might launch cyber attacks, might come up with something that, I can't even think of now. Might find an even bigger hypersonic missile to launch at Israel or something. Like, who knows what else is on the table, because they just opened the door to hell.